Good morning. Welcome back to the show, Mark Nudelberg.
It's great to be back on the show. It's great to be back with you guys this morning. Thanks for allowing me the day away, but it was a great weekend with Kai Everett Nudelberg, and excited to be back in the co-pilot seat, ready to rock and roll today.
Good to see you at the airport with him laughing and giggling.
Yeah,
those times will continue to roll. It was a interesting Monday. You know, it was a holiday for some. You know, some people worked, some people didn't work. But I was on a live stream late yesterday afternoon, and two of the people lived in Naples, and they were currently, while they were on the stream, there were people banging and doing up the walls and
sure.
So Tampa is battening down the hatch, as they say.
Coming to you from a dark and rainy South Florida this morning, and the entire state is in preparation for whatever may happen, for whatever the situation may be, if you will.
So there's so much to go with. I think we should probably just dispense with all the bullshit, get to wake up, and I want to talk to you about situational awareness, which we talked about yesterday.
I know.
If you missed the conversation, we'll tee it up and roll. Let's roll.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in there. No more about to thinking. Time of thinking ahead. Come on.
All right. So situational awareness, I put out a video about it yesterday, sort of wanted to share my thoughts that it's usually done in a manner of safety. People are talking about, it's a military term or something like that. But the reality is, to me, it's all about being prepared. That's
I
what
love that you drove home the point of preparedness, right?
Yeah.
Situational awareness equals preparedness. That is the one and the same to me.
For all of my years in sales, I would make it mandatory that when someone lost the deal, they brought it to the table and we said, unpack it. What happened there? What can we do next time to avoid that? What are the takeaways? What are the lessons? What are the learning? We can role play. We can prepare. What your downside is my upside. I can learn from it. And it really, really propelled the company because they understood there was value in the loss.
So let's unpack that for a minute, though, because in order to be able to do that with somebody, you got to have a relationship with them. Because this was the great part about sports, is that it was on film. So you could tell me whatever the hell you wanted to tell me in the meeting. I'm going to play it for you and show you what actually happened. In the world of business, where we're managing people or we're leading people and we're trying to, in the sense, do the same thing of evaluation, in order for somebody to open up to me what really happened and for them to be vulnerable enough to say, here's where I may have made a mistake, they got to trust you that you're not going to lose your mind on them, that it's you're in it for them and you want to help them. And that's why you're asking. It's not a I got you moment. It's a hey, let's get better moment, which really takes development.
So here's what's interesting to me. I never labeled it as a mistake.
Right.
I just said, tell me the news. What happened? What did you do? And what was the series of events? Right down to a T. When did you call? What did you say? How did it go? What was the rhythm? What was the cadence? Because I never identified it as a mistake because you don't really know it's a mistake. If the only qualifier is I got the deal or I didn't get the deal, right?
Right.
You never know along the way what was the qualifier. So this whole idea of preparation and preparing for stuff, I said, hey, listen, you get on a plane, you fly all the time, every single time. Boom, they're talking about the masks, and nobody really pays attention, but that's what if.
Yep.
What if last night there was a phenomenon. Show me Armageddon. Just,
oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. 8,
Yeah.
7, 6,
wow.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Awaiting visual confirmation.
All right. Let's see. We got it? Waiting.
And we have impact a triumphant for humanity in the name of planetary defense.
So before we go into the real conversation about this, I have to, the cynic in me and the class clown in me has to say, does anybody else feel like that looked like the original Star Wars movie?
yeah, right.
Like you were looking like you were approaching the Death Star from like the 1971 George Lucas film. Like, you're telling me we just landed on an asteroid and it looks like the concrete in my driveway? Like, what is happening? Like, we're buying the story?
It is crazy. They started 10 months ago, and the whole mission was, can we do this in the future? Can we do the drill now, which was very expensive, very time consuming, very expensive, but can we do it? So then what happens? The next time it does happen, we have full confidence that we did it already. Welcome to sales, my people. Do it. It's
welcome to everything.
And
so I think the conversation yesterday, which I really loved, was there's a unique balance that has to be walked here, because I remember being in strategy meetings about a game, right? And you're making decisions and you're developing the strategy and figuring out the situations you're going to practice based on what that other team does. And then there was always the guy in the room that gave you the what if. Well, what if they do something completely different? What if they do this thing that's way off the wall? And while you have to be prepared for those what if scenarios, you can't drive yourself into, a crazy frenzy and not be focused on the things that matter because of the what ifs. So I always like to live with all right, let's play that out for a second. If they were to do something like this, here's a quick answer for that, which will then allow us to assess what's happening and develop another strategy for it. But we have a simple, basic answer that isn't hard for us to do. And so I think as you look at your business and you think about all the different scenarios, building your situational awareness around the things that you know are commonplace, the things that you know need to be executed day in and day out, and having a plan for some of the oh shit moments are important.
I just love that. I mean, it seems so simple, yet it's not easy to just stop and prepare. And I love that. Before we go on, there's just
one story about that, though.
Major shout outs. Okay. So first of all, if the hurricane would have hit here, I've got Miss Lori's Gourmet Kitchen. I got my brittle.
I can't wait to have some. Lori, can't wait for mine. Mine hasn't shown up yet.
Jake and I dug into it. Hey, welcome back to Mr. Dykes. Mr. Dykes is back from Hawaii. Great to see you back in the huddle, my friend. I'm actually sending you an introduction to one of our clients from Houston who wants to do business with you. And then Dr. JC Dornick, who is one of the coolest guys on social media. Welcome back to the huddle. It's good to see you, my friend. So what's your story?
So it's speaking of Eddie Dykes, like when we were working with them, they had a once in a career moment happen for them inside of a store that had to do with some of their processes and securities and things. I don't want to give the entire thing away, but it was a once in a career type moment, right? This thing never happens, but it happened, and it showed the lack of situational awareness or the lack of preparedness for that moment. So it wasn't like, hey, we got to go build an entire strategy to train the entire staff on what to do if this were to happen. But we should have it somewhere, kind of like the, you know, the hey, pull this button if this thing happens, to be prepared for, you know what, it hadn't happened, but it did. Great moment for us to recognize and say, we weren't prepared enough. Here's a simple way that we can put something into place to ensure this doesn't happen again.
So again, for me, you know, there's 10 of the same objections that happen all the time. So if you're not prepared for them, if you send your team out into battle and they are not prepared, shame on you. That's enough of situational awareness. You should focus on it. You should practice, do the work, all that kind of stuff. We are well represented this morning in the huddle from the UK. My man, Justin
Mount Stevens is here.
Stevens is here. One of the coolest guys in sports. Love him. And I think I saw somebody else. Harry Jones is here representing from London. So when they say the huddle is global, we ain't lying, man.
We're across the pond.
We have crossed the pond. So all this great stuff on a day when it is Google's birthday, maybe.
No, it is.
The research today, it says it's Google's 24th birthday. Okay. But when they celebrate it, if you Google it, which is so fantastic, the term Google it has become this, you know, this thing.
A real action, a real verb.
Real action. You know, they celebrated September 5th, September 7th, whatever. We're locking in on today is the day that it's Google's birthday. Some really cool things about Google. You know, for me, I was one of the most curious guys, you know, and I think that made me really good in sales because I was curious about people and about what they did. We'd always get into these conversations, and my ability to name a movie or do whatever was kind of like cool. People go, oh my God, yeah, I could recite a line, I could do whatever, a movie, a TV show, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden it's like, I just Google it. You know,
yeah, now all the answers are there all the time.
It took all of the research, all of the
took your party trick away.
Exactly, you know. But this idea of Googling it makes it really simple. So they are the world's most viewed website. There are over 70,000 Google searches each second. It's almost 227 million an hour. So it's mind-boggling. So
they changed humanity, in my opinion. They changed humanity because the leadership issues that we deal with today and the things that I saw as I stepped in front of the team was we were dealing with an entirely different generation of people that were raised on the, I don't care what you tell me, I can go figure it out myself. I don't have to trust you and the information. I'm actually going to fact check you. I'm going to figure out whether or not you're full of shit. I'm going to figure out whether or not you actually know what you're talking about because I have the ability to do it right here. And that changed the way people operate, which changed the way we have to operate with them.
So it's interesting you went that way. Let me just get a couple of these facts out, which is crazy. Google earned $116.3 billion in advertising in 2018. So you can only imagine where they are now. The word Google comes from the term Google, which is the number one followed by 100 zeros. Creators chose it to reflect the huge amount of data they were searching through. So you went to a certain way on Google. I'm going to share another way that you control the narrative. We talk about control the controllables. If you want to control what people are saying about you, get on LinkedIn and manage your content right. Yep. Put it out there. Tell people who you are. The reality is, and I've heard this a lot, oh, my competition is saying this about me and this is happening. And the reality is, if you Google someone's name, the first thing that comes up is LinkedIn.
Yep.
Their LinkedIn profile, which is your chance to control the data. So I tell everybody, Google me. Please Google me, because don't listen to anything I say. You're already defensive because you think I'm trying to sell you something, which I'm not. Just Google me. If you like what you see, let's have a virtual coffee. Period.
I
Done.
love it.
You know, so I mean, Google has done that. But what I love about Google is they don't take themselves seriously. They
Too
really
serious.
don't.
Yeah.
So if you Google the word askew, Shay, show me the word. Look at
It takes your whole screen and puts it on a slant.
It's like fantastic. Here's the other thing. We're not going to do it here, but if you Google do a barrel roll, watch what happens. It's absolute comedy. I mean, they are taking their time and their energy and their resources to do stuff like this. It's crazy. But I thought what we would do for the balance of the show is go over the top 10 weirdest search terms found during a keyword search, which is just absolutely hilarious.
So I think, Scott Ogilvy asked the question, have they made us lazier? And I would say absolutely not. If anything, they've helped make us more informed. And like Howie Craw, who remembers the encyclopedia? Exactly, Howie. Like when I wanted to know something, I had to go into the garage, I had to get the ladder, I had to go up, and I had to get the book, then find the word. And the only thing I was going to get there was the resources that thing gave me. Now it's actually created more work for me to really figure out the truth or the real information behind something. Because when you Google it, you're going to get 75 different responses. You're going to get videos, you're going to get articles, and you have got to do the work to go ahead in there and find the information you need. So I love the conversation of it.
The only hope, like Rick said, he Googled me and there's a picture of me with a Jet helmet. The only hope the Jets have is if I play, and seeing that I'm not going to play, I am seriously leaning towards the experience I've had 2 weeks in a row at the Dolphin games, man. It's
no easy. We figured something out here. We think that you may be the culprit behind the Jets being terrible. We're going to have like an initiation process for you to get into the fan club, because we're 3-0 right now. And if you go ahead and screw that up for us, it's going to be bad for the family.
Whoa. I was at 2 of the games, man. If you remember,
yeah, but you were wearing neutral colors.
If you remember correctly, I'm never wearing Dolphin colors. That's not
that. All right, we're on board then. Then you're never really in the fan club. And as long as that's the case, there's no way for you to mush us.
I am not wearing that. But if you remember correctly, I would come and wear the Florida State stuff, and
you lost.
We lost often, which was maybe that was the trick.
The history of my career in football, you mushed.
Let's get to the top 10, if you will.
Let's do some motivational morning music. We haven't gotten to music yet. Then let's come back and let's do some Google searches.
So people forget about Huey Lewis. His music was,
fantastic.
Huey Lewis in the news. It's too bad Virginia's not here because they hail from San Francisco.
I did not know that.
So where are we? I don't know. We were doing.
So we're going to talk about some of the top Google searches that'll probably make you laugh and definitely make you go,
So the number one was "My cat wants to kill me."
So this is the top 10 weirdest search terms found on the keyword research. And so number one weirdest is "My cat wants to kill me." And if you are like bored, and we talk about this in scheduling time for high performers. Like if you just got some me time, you got some time that you're looking to like change your focus, just go into Google and just start typing something into a Google search and see what it autofills. It's unbelievable. So like if you type in my cat, it's going to autofill wants to kill me. And you're like, what? Why are people searching that?
Unreal. Who ate all the bananas and took a dump in the hallway?
Right. It's unbelievable. I mean, number three is
by the way, just before we get it, we don't let it get away from us. Rick Whalen has Hall of Fame answer. Put him in the bathroom, man.
Right. It's one of the greatest lines of
we
all
talked
time.
about Bush, man. That is the greatest line in the movie. So the whole thing with cats, there's a lot of cats.
Yeah, I accidentally killed my cat in the dryer, which I can actually see how somebody might do that with like the cats like hiding in the laundry and you just scoop it up and throw it into the dryer. Not good for anybody.
This one, Germany is in what country?
Which, goes to show you that like maybe there's not so much faith in humanity if you're not sure what country Germany is.
Which the video content on this one, there is a deer in my car. What movie does that remind you
of? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Correct. I was going to say, no, it's Tommy Boy, I think.
And it also Tommy Boy, but also Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when they either hit the deer or something happens with the deer. Both of those movies, classic deer scenes.
Right, exactly. So you see, I mean, that would take you to a movie. There's things to be grateful for when they talk about change, how life has changed and what modernizing your approach to being alive, and I think, Google has to be right up. Google and Apple are the two main game changers in how we live our life. And I will tell you this, most people have not Googled themselves. And if you don't Google yourself, if you do it rather, you may not like what you see.
I mean, the only thing we can count on is change, right? So like for me, if you're looking at tools and like Google's not a new tool, right? Like Google's been around. It's proven that it's going to be here to stay. If you're going, well, I'll just wait till that fades out, or no, the way we used to do it is the better way to doing it, I can promise you, you're not going to have an easy time continuing to move forward. And when you talk about modernizing, like change happens. Figure out how to manage the change. Situational awareness. Instead of turning a blind eye to it or putting the blinders on, let's look at it and go, all right, what's the best way for us to embrace this? What's the best way for us to bring it into our strategy or philosophy? I give you this kudos all the time. But when social media came about, you didn't go, that's a fad. You didn't go, that's not worth anything. You said, how do I use that? And within my philosophy of what I know works, not how do I radically change everything I was doing, but how do I take what's working and take some of these tools and apply it to maybe help me be better? And that, I think, is the point of Google or video or any of the new tools that we LinkedIn, all the tools that we talk about all the time. It's how do I take it and adopt it to make it fit what I know works?
So I'm going to leave you with this podcast I did last night, this stream, which will get posted somewhere. My friend Andrea Cantaneo invited me, and she gave me very little background. Just come, it's incredible. You'll love it. It's these people, whatever. And it's this attorney that actually is blind that came up with this motivational thing. Anyway. But what they invited me to was a CEO dinner virtually. So he said, wow. I used to do this, put 6 or 8 people at Capitol Grill. It was expensive. It was hard to get on people's calendar, whatever. He put 6 strangers in a virtual green room and then lit up. And it was happening live. It was live streaming. And he sort of had, who are you? What's one special moment about you? I said, both of my boys are college football coaches at my alma mater. Boom, that went crazy. But everybody had something that was pretty cool. And so how limiting is it to think that we only can wait to get invited to a dinner? Any one of us can have a dinner, and you can invite 6 strangers who the payoff is whatever you make it. And I have 2 virtual coffees from that dinner already today. So bingo. Salt Lake City and New Jersey, 2 people I would.
Did they send food to everybody's house is the question. Did they send dinner for everybody.
They did, and to my point, like he asked before they closed the thing, he goes, "What's your takeaway?" And I go, "I love this. I did virtual coffee. Could I send coffee? Yeah, but I don't have to. The reality is, you can do whatever you want with the tools. Just dream it."
I love it.
Tomorrow we'll come back. We'll talk about middle managers. Check out Mark's post on LinkedIn this morning. He nailed it. You're either leading, but you can't be managing. You got to lead people. And there's a whole conversation there about middle managers.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get down.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night.